My name is Melanie Felvis. I am the founder and director of Your Preschools, Inc. Under that umbrella, we have 4 Montessori preschools. We have Smithville Christian Preschool, Vineland Christian Preschool, Dunville Christian Preschool, and Grassy Christian Preschool. Today, I want to give you an in-depth look into the 5 learning areas of a Montessori classroom. In our CASA program, one of these 5 learning areas is the practical life area. In this area, the children are developing their fine motor skills. These are skills that they will later use for printing and writing. In this area, you'll see a lot of tongs, scoops, spoons, lacing. You'll see all kinds of jobs that require them to use these fine motor skills. You'll also see a lot of natural materials. When Maria Montessori developed this method over 100 years ago, natural materials were all that she had available. We've kept this going with the use of a lot of wood and glass in our classrooms. This is a typical job you might find in the practical life area. They're taking an Allen key to take the bolts out. So you can see that this requires a lot of fine motor control and concentration, as well as hand-eye coordination. This is our sensorial area. Here the children are learning biggest to smallest, longest to shortest, among some other skills. Michaela's going to demonstrate the pink tower. In this job, there are 10 pink blocks. They're all the same color because we want the children to think about size and weight and not distinguish by color. The purpose of this job is for them to understand the difference in size in building it from biggest to smallest. Michaela's building each piece one at a time until she finally has them all in order. Michaela's working on a mat right now, so that is hopefully going to deter somebody from coming and knocking over her tower or taking a piece. This is defined as Michaela's workspace. If I were to come up and ask Michaela if I could do this job with her, she can say yes, and we would do it together, or she could say no thank you, in which time I would wait until she puts it back on the shelf and I'd have my turn later. That cuts down on a lot of the conflict between our students. Another job in our sensorial area are our brown stairs. So just like the pink tower, they're all the same color, and the children are arranging them from biggest to smallest. We also have our red rods, where they're learning to line them all up from shortest to longest. The jobs in the sensorial area are meant to help the children explore all of their senses. We have smelling jars, where they're having different scents. We have fabric swatches to explore different textures. And here we have our sound boxes. When doing this job, the child would shake one of the cylinders and listen to it, and then choose one of the blue ones to see if the sound matches. These ones don't match, so the child would put away the blue one and try another one. And still no match. Once they find the one that matches, they put them together and start making another pair. In the sensorial area, the children are introduced to color and shade and matching. Our color boxes help them identify the colors and match them together. Once they can identify the colors, we can move into a job such as this one, where they are figuring out the different shades. So here they are taking the different colored pink cylinders and figuring out which one is the darkest and arranging them all the way to the lightest one. In the language area, we help the child develop a solid foundation of the phonetic sounds. That will lead to reading later on. When the children begin the program, we start talking about the phonetic sound that each letter makes. This is done through a one-on-one lesson with the teacher. If we were working with the K for cat, A for apple, and T for tiger, we would ask the student to trace K for cat with her fingers. This is developing a pre-writing skill. What is this one, Michaela?
K for cat.
K for cat. We really want to stress the sound that it makes. When Michaela starts reading, she needs to know K, A, T, as opposed to C, A, T. We would do this for each letter, and then we would play a little game one-on-one. So I might ask Michaela to put T for tiger on her head. Put T for tiger up high. Put T for tiger on the table. By repeating these sounds over and over, they're building that foundation inside the child's brain, and then they're ready, once they have figured out most of the sounds, to move on to reading. Once they move on to reading, we start with a piece of paper and then move into phonetic readers. In our math area, we have sandpaper numbers, just like the letters we had in our language area. We like to talk to the children about recognizing the number, but also quantity. So you can see in front of us, Michaela has numbers 1, 2, and 3. We might take this and say, let's go around the classroom and find one pencil. Let's find 2 markers, but we also might use counters. So we might help Michaela put 1 on number 1 and 2 on number 2. So she's going to count those out one at a time. 1, 2. In a similar fashion, our spindle boxes are designed to count things out one at a time. So we put 1 in 1, and we'd put 2 spindles in the second one. And we would go all the way to number 9. This is helping the child understand quantity instead of just reciting the numbers. Once the children can understand some quantity and can recognize their numbers, they move on to the 10 board and the teen board. This helps them identify numbers, first the teen board from 10 to 19, and then the 10 board from 10 to 99. All the children in the Montessori classroom are working at their own pace. So one child might be starting to recognize the number 1 and counting out, and one child in the math area could actually be doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Because the CASA program is ideally designed for children to come for the 3-year cycle, preschool, JK, and SK, the skills build upon one another. We've seen children that have graduated in senior kindergarten reading chapter books, doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The sky's the limit as to how far they can actually go. In our cultural area, we are exploring science, geography, and history. History could be, this is how somebody looks in September, this is how they look in June. It's about the progression of time. Geography, a lot of times we have a whole concentration on Canada, but we also talk about the world we live in and how to respect our planet. For the science area, sometimes we do science experiments live, and sometimes we have our science jobs out. This is an example of living and non-living. The children are going to take each object and classify it under the living or non-living title. So for instance, a tree could be living, but the Eiffel Tower would be non-living. All of our science jobs, in fact, all of our jobs, are very hands-on. The children are able to understand these concepts because they are actually going through the motions. This is a brief overview of the Montessori components in our classrooms. A lot of times we also bring in the art center, sensory bin, and a provocation area. If you have questions, please reach out and let us know. You can also check out the rest of our videos on our Facebook page and on our website, yourpreschools.info. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.